It's the 17th of April 2025. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst's Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news tonight for the Newsfirst team, I am Jamal Ratnayaka.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight.
Ferry service from Mana to Rameswaram likely to return. Aswasama to an additional 400,000 starting June, says President. Special traffic plan in Kandy for Siri Dalada Vandanava starting today. Distribution of official polling cards begins. VAT exemption on several locally produced items including yogurt.
In our top story for tonight, Sri Lankan President Anurukumara Dissanayake announced that the ferry service between Mana and Rameswaram will resume. He shared this view while addressing a public rally in Mana this morning.
Another public rally organized by the National People's Power targeting the upcoming local government elections was held this morning in Mana under the leadership of President Anurukumara Dissanayake.
The divisive politics that once characterized elections is now a thing of the past. Previously, elections were seen as events that divided the people. The northern population supported Tamil political parties. The eastern population sided with Muslim political parties, and the southern population backed Sinhala political parties. However, in the last general election, people from the north, east and south, Tamil, Muslim and Sinhala alike, united in support of the National People's Power. This election brought us together. Let us engage in politics without dividing the people. We need a country where we can all live together harmoniously. We are a people who have been battered by racism and discrimination. We doubted each other, fought with each other, and it led to war. We were battered by racism. We will never allow racism to rise again in our country, and we have created a new government to protect national unity. There will no longer be a majority and minority in the country, whether Sinhala, Tamil or Muslim, from the north, east or south. We will be one community, Sri Lankans. As a result of the war, lands in the north were taken over by the state. Some roads were closed and some personal lands were gazetted under the Department of Forest Conservation. We will resolve these issues, and the National People's Power government will take measures to ensure that people can live and cultivate on their own lands.
The President also commented on the resources available in Mana.
In
the country's development drive, Mana holds a key position. Our sea area is rich in resources and many in Mana depend on the fisheries industry. However, we are aware of the illegal fishing activities in Pesale that are destroying the sea. We recently discussed this issue at length with the Indian Prime Minister. Our sea area and marine resources belong to our people, and we are doing our best to solve this issue. The Sri Lankan Navy has been instructed to crack down on all illegal activities in the sea area. It is the duty of our military to protect our sea area. There used to be a ferry service between Mana and Rameswaram. We have engaged with the Indian government to resume this ferry service. Mana is also an area that can generate electricity using wind power. In the past, approval was given to such projects without considering the concerns of the people and the environmental impact. We have temporarily suspended these projects. As a government, we are ready to utilize these resources by taking into account the concerns of the people and minimizing environmental destruction. That is the role of the government.
The Siri Dalada Vandanava, or the sacred veneration of the tooth relic of Lord Buddha, will commence from tomorrow.
The relic exposition will be held for 10 days beginning tomorrow to bless people worldwide. The city of Kandy is preparing for this rare event with a special traffic plan being implemented from today.
Before the sacred left tooth relic of the Buddha was brought to Sri Lanka, it was last under the guardianship of King Guhasiva, who ruled the Kalinga region. The responsibility of safeguarding and venerating the relic was entrusted to Prince Dantha, the nephew of the king. Prince Dantha was married to Princess Hemamala. During a period of conflict over the possession of the relic, Prince Dantha and Princess Hemamala brought it to Sri Lanka under the royal directive during the reign of King Kirti Sri Meghavarna. In 310 AD, Princess Hemamala concealed the sacred tooth relic within her hair and brought it to Sri Lanka with great reverence. To this day, the relic is venerated as if it were the living Buddha. The first ever relics exposition is said to have taken place 1715 years ago, and the most recent was held in 2009.
Buddhists should remember to conduct their offerings before the sacred Dalada with the same reverence and respect as they would in the presence of the Buddha. Failing to do so would be highly disrespectful. It is important to dress in white attire and approach this task with great dedication and respect, much like when visiting a temple. This is not something to be taken lightly. Let us perform this duty with the prayer that our country may once again prosper, free from planetary afflictions and filled with blessings. This is the message we convey to our Buddhist community.
මේක ඉතාමත්ම කලාතුරකින් සිදුවෙන සිදු කරන ප්‍රදක්ෂණයක්. මීට පෙරත් අපේ
This exposition is a rare event. Previous presidents have reminded the Mahanayakas about it, but it was postponed. This time the president visited both the Mahaviharas and the temple of the sacred tooth relic, extending the invitation to exhibit the sacred relics. The Mahanayakas and the Nilames accepted this invitation. Hence, this event is taking place according to that invitation. It is a duty that must be performed with wholehearted devotion, faith and respect. Since it is a rare opportunity, it is advised to dress in white attire and approach this task with utmost reverence.
දැන් ඒ ආරාධනාව අනුව තමයි මේ සිදුවීම කරන්නේ. මුළු හදවතින්ම ශ්‍රද්ධාව, භක්තිය, ගෞරවය ඇතිව කළ යුතු කාර්යයක්.
මේ දළදා දැක්ම සමගින් බෞද්ධ ප්‍රබෝධයක් අපි මේ රට තුල නැවත උදා කර ගන්නට ඕන, ඇති කර ගන්නට ඕන. ඒ සදා හැමදෙනාගේම අදිෂ්ඨානය, හැමදෙනාගේ අවධානය මේ දළදා දැක්ම සමගින් ඇති කර ගන්නට ඕනේ කියන කාරණේ අපි විශේෂයෙන් මේ අවස්ථාවේදී සිහිපත් කරන්න කැමති වෙනවා.
At a press conference held today, Kandy Municipal Commissioner Indika Kumari Abesingha stated that all preparations have been made for the convenience of the devotees.
According to our primary plans, all arrangements are in place. This includes the provision of clean drinking water, hygienic facilities, sanitary amenities, waste management systems and health control measures. We have completed about 75% of the decorations in the city and set up a rain cover on DSN Anayaka Street for the devotees. For disaster management, the fire brigade, lifeguards unit, tree cutting teams and all other necessary equipment are on standby. We are prepared to carry out all required activities over the next 10 days. As of the day before yesterday, permission had been granted for 225 dansas with plans to inspect 42 of them.
Sri Lanka Police announced that 10,000 personnel have been deployed to ensure the safety of the public attending the Sri Dalada exhibition.
මහජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලනවා මෙසේ පැමිණෙද්දී තමුන්ගේ වටිනා කියන දේපල මිල මුදල් රන් භාණ්ඩ වගේ දේවල් මේ අරන් එන ගමන් මළු තුල රැගෙන එන්න එපා. මොකද කිසිම ආකාරයකින් ගමන් මල්ලක් අපි මාලිගාව පරිශ්‍රයට ඇතුල් වෙන ඒ පෝලින් තුනේ ඇතුළට ගන්නෙ නැහැ. ජංගම දුරකථනයක් ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන්, ඒකත් ක්‍රියා විරහිත කරලා තමයි ගෙනියන්න දෙන්නේ.
The police have also arranged several parking locations for the vehicles of devotees. These locations include the Gatabay Ground, Kannurua Road, Katugastota 4th Mile Post, Polgolda Mahinda Rajpaksa Theatre Grounds, Rakade Junction, Dharmashoka Mavata and PT Rajan Sports Ground. Additionally, parking facilities have been arranged at the Bandaranaikal School Ground in Pallikale and the Gurudenia area. The police stated that alternative routes have been planned for vehicles travelling through Kandy city. The police spokesperson explained the operational plans of the Police Information Technology Division.
ඔබට පුළුවන් අපගේ වෙබ් පිටුවට ඇතුල් වීමෙන් පස්සේ සිරි දළදා වන්දනාව නමින් සඳහන් කරලා තිබෙන අයිකන් එක හරහා මෙම දළදා වන්දනාව පිළිබඳ සියලු තොරතුරු ඔබට ලබා ගන්න හැකියාව තිබෙනවා.
Newsfirst correspondents have noted that devotees are already arriving in Kandy from various parts of the country. They are remaining along the prepared access routes. According to officials, the Kandy Municipal Council is providing necessary services to them.
The Negombo Citizens Committee has called for the immediate punishment of those responsible for the April 21st attacks. This demand was emphasized during a press conference held in Negombo, which included the participation of victims of the Easter Sunday attacks.
මේ පිල්ලයන්ව අත්අඩංගුවට ගැනීම හරහා ගම්මන් පිළලා කරන්න ගන්න උත්සාහය. ඔවුන් කියන්න හදන්නේ මේ අහිංසක මිනිහෙක්ව පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයට.
The arrest of Pillan is part of an effort by Gammanpilla and his associates. They are trying to portray an innocent man as being involved in the Easter Sunday attacks. However, Pillan was actually arrested to question him about the disappearance or murder of a vice-chancellor in the eastern province. Gammanpilla, after speaking for half an hour, is now trying to claim that Pillan had nothing to do with the Easter Sunday attacks. Why is this? This is a clear attempt to divert attention. We have evidence and information that Pillan and Zahawan were either at the same place at the same time or were in communication during the critical period. Even Pillan's own coordinating secretary has stated that this conspiracy was orchestrated from within. It is important to clarify this to the public to prevent the spread of false narratives. They are trying to claim that an innocent man being wrongfully accused of the Easter Sunday attacks and there is a different mastermind. Gammanpilla, stop trying to deceive the public. Your actions are leading the people astray and are part of a despicable political conspiracy. Ranil Wickramasinghe has proposed discussions with Pillan, but the government has not approved this. Gammanpilla is presenting himself as a lawyer, but it is clear that he is using Pillan to fulfill political agendas. His efforts to divert the discussion about the real masterminds behind the attacks are evident and are part of a political conspiracy.
වෙනත් දිශාවකට යොමු කිරීම සඳහා ගම්මන්පිල ගන්නා උත්සාහය අපිට ඉතා පැහැදිලි. ඒකත් දේශපාලන කුමන්ත්‍රණයක් කියන එක ඉතාම පැහැදිලිව අපිට පේනවා.
රජයක් හැටියටම මේ මොහොතේ ඉල්ලන්න කැමති.
We are calling for immediate action to identify and bring to justice those who orchestrated this conspiracy. We demand that all masterminds and those involved behind the scenes be brought before the law. Many claim to know who the masterminds are, but who are these individuals? It is the government's responsibility to bring these known individuals forward and ensure they face justice in front of the public and the law.
News First with the people. The local government election Sri Lanka 2025.
The Election Commission says that dates for marking postal votes for the upcoming local government elections are scheduled for May 6th, 2025 have been revised. Chairman of the Election Commission, RMAL Ratnayaka, said that postal voting will now take place on the 24th of April, 25th, 28th and 29th. Let's now take a look at the heated debates surrounding the local government elections.
Before the ballot.
Recently, Pillayan, a former leader who later left LTTE, was detained and interrogated, and it seems President Ranil Wickramasinghe wasn't too happy about it. He has tried to call Pillayan directly, completely ignoring legal procedures. Now, we all know the kind of crimes Pillayan has been linked to in the eastern province. There are even claims connecting him to the killing of several police officers and, more recently, allegations tying him to the Easter Sunday attacks. Despite all this, Uday Gammanpilla has stepped in, taking the lead in defending Pillayan. He is trying to present him as a deeply religious man. Not all crimes in this country are committed by one person. Many have political strings attached. And when someone linked to those crimes gets caught, it makes others nervous. Why? Because they are afraid of what might come out. Ranil Wickramasinghe is worried, afraid of what Pillayan might reveal.
Before the ballot.
We all know that Pillayan played a significant role in ending the war. There's no doubt he's a patriot. And let's be clear, anyone can appear for him, whether it's me, Gaman Pilla or even Ranil Wickramasinghe, because we're all lawyers.
Before the ballot.
Ever since the disappearance of the Eastern University Vice-Chancellor, an incident Pillayan is now being linked to, Uday Gaman Pilla has been anxious. And if Gaman Pilla is catching a cold over it, the Rajapaksas seem to be suffering from pneumonia. It's becoming increasingly clear that Gaman Pilla is acting as a spokesperson for the Rajapaksas. Ranil Wickramasinghe reportedly called the CID trying to get in touch with Pillayan. Why Ranil? Because legally he can't make phone calls. That's where Gaman Pilla comes in as the lawyer. And now suddenly Pillayan is being repackaged as a patriot. If this is the new face of the nationalist movement in Sri Lanka, it might just signal the end of what was once called the nationalist camp.
Before the ballot.
Now it seems the real mistake Pillayan and MP Karuna made was leaving the LTTE. Had they stayed, chances are they would be living comfortably abroad by now with foreign citizenship and treated like a national resource. These are individuals who gave up terrorism, entered democratic politics and contested in elections. And now they are being dragged through accusations of war crimes. And if those charges don't stick, well, it looks like the government is ready to step in and interrogate them anyway.
Before the ballot.
This isn't a simple issue. In some villages, when a thief breaks into a house, the whole neighborhood runs to catch him. But the thief runs with them, pretending to help. That's exactly what we are seeing here. The ones causing the chaos are often the ones making the most noise. They know trouble is coming, so they are in a hurry to cover their tracks. Some even say there's no difference between their homes and prison cells. We're glad that finally the power of the people is making these politicians nervous.
Before the ballot.
This whole situation feels like a staged drama. On one hand, we have Batalanda, and on the other, the looming pressure of international accusations about war crimes. It's clear that some former leaders are trying to silence Pillayan because they're afraid of what he might reveal. At this moment, Pillayan is a key witness.
කන්තලේ මධ්‍ය මහාවිද්‍යාලීය ක්‍රීඩාංගණයට අප්‍රේල් 19 දවස පුරා අවුරුදු සිරියෙන් පුරවන්න ඔයාලත් එන්න.
අවුරුදු කුමරා කුමරිය බයිසිකල් ධාවන තරගය
ඔරුපැදීමේ තරගය සහ ජන ක්‍රීඩා රසක් සමග
කුරුණෑගල බැජී සංගීතයට ජනප්‍රිය ගායක ගායිකාවන් ගී ගයන
නැගෙන හිරට අවුරුදු
අප්‍රේල් 19 වනදා දවස පුරා
කන්තලේ මැදි විදුහල ක්‍රීඩාංගණයේදී
ඔබේ ගමේ නගරේ දේශපාලනයේ හෙට දවස සතිය දිනවල සවස 6:30ට
Chinese President Xi Jinping has pledged to join hands with Malaysia and the broader Southeast Asian region in resisting unilateralism and protectionism in a thinly veiled reference to US President Donald Trump's imposition of sweeping tariffs.
Chinese President Xi Jinping, who was in Malaysia for an official visit, speaking at a welcome dinner on the second day of his visit, emphasized the importance of unity in preserving the shared future of the Asian family.
当前国际秩序和经济全球化遭受冲击，两国将同地区国家团结一致，共同抵御地缘政治和阵营对抗暗流，突破单边主义和保护主义逆流。 保护好亚洲家园的美好发展前景。中马友好顺应历史潮流，未来可期。中方期待同马方一道，携手构建高水平、战略性中马命运共同体，打造中马关系新的黄金50年，为两国各自现代化进程提供更大助力，为全球南方树立团结合作典范，为促进地区乃至世界和平、稳定、繁荣做出新的更大贡献。
Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim warned against economic tribalism in a veiled swing to Washington, praising Xi Jinping's conduct as a model of steadiness.
At a time when multilateralism is under tremendous strain, when some nations abandon the principles of shared responsibility and others question long-standing commitments, China's global initiative offers a new lease on hope. They look outward, not inward. They speak not of rivalry, but of renewal. What we are witnessing today is not an honest reckoning with the imperfections of globalization, but a retreat into economic tribalism. Market access is being weaponized. What was once a multilateral covenant for shared growth now buckles under the weight of arbitrary disruption and unilateral whip. There is nothing difficult in the world, only those who lack the will. Amid this turbulence, China has been a rational, strong and reliable partner. Malaysia values this consistency. Malaysia will remain an unwavering and principled friend to China, guided by the wisdom of history and the promise of the future. Our foreign policy is shaped by a clear-eyed vision of our interests. We do not simply favor cooperation over confrontation. We embrace it. We do not merely prefer respect over rivalry. We uphold it. And we choose dialogue not simply because it suits us, but as a cornerstone of lasting peace and prosperity.
Earlier in the day, during bilateral talks, Chinese President Xi Jinping put forward a 3-point proposal on building a high-level strategic China-Malaysia community with a shared future. Xi made the remarks during his meeting with Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. First, Xi urged the two countries to adhere to strategic independence and carry out high-level strategic coordination. Second, China and Malaysia should build synergy for development and set a model for high-quality development cooperation. Third, Xi called for both sides to carry forward their friendship from generation to generation and deepen exchanges and mutual learning between the two civilizations. After the talks, leaders of the two countries jointly witnessed the exchange of more than 30 bilateral cooperation documents covering cooperation on 3 major global initiatives: Confucian Islamic civilizational dialogue, digital economy, trade in services, upgrading the two countries' twin parks program, joint laboratories, artificial intelligence, railways, intellectual property, export of agricultural products to China, mutual visa exemption and panda conservation, among other areas.
Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong said that the escalating trade tensions between the United States and China will have a profound impact on global business and economic stability. He was speaking at the S. Rajaratnam Lecture 2025.
Sinnathambi Rajaratnam, better known as S. Rajaratnam, was a Singaporean statesman, journalist and diplomat who served as the First Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Second Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore.
The US has since postponed most of its reciprocal tariffs, but there is little comfort in this because the current baseline tariff rates are still much higher than what they used to be, and the changes have already caused great uncertainty for businesses everywhere. No company can comfortably plan long-term investments while knowing that the tariff rates could be changed at a moment's notice. Moreover, the US and China are entering a full-blown tariff trade war. The US tariffs on Chinese goods are now 145%, and China has responded, as all of you know, with tariffs on US goods at 125% and vowed to fight to the end. At these rates, trading between the two countries will just grind to a halt, and the pain will be felt not just by them, but by countries everywhere. Our prosperity has depended on a stable, rules-based global order and the free flow of trade, capital, people, and ideas. As the old order frays, a new one will eventually emerge. It is likely to be more multipolar, less coordinated, and more contested. It will not be shaped by the grand designs of a single superpower, nor by a harmonious concord of all the major powers, but more by the actions and choices of many different players. And despite our limitations as a small state, we cannot afford to be a passive bystander in this evolving landscape. Instead, we must respond with agility and resolve and actively shape our own destiny. And Singapore today is not without agency. We are better resourced, more capable, more connected than we were in 1965. We have forged strong friendships around the world. The Singapore brand is well regarded, and we enjoy a deep reservoir of international goodwill. More importantly, we are not alone. There are many like-minded countries that share our commitment to an open, stable, and rules-based global system. So we can and we will deepen and expand our networks with them. And together, we can preserve the multilateral frameworks that matter and lay the groundwork now for a more stable global order that can emerge in the years ahead.
The Prime Minister said that Singapore will move forward on 3 key thrusts. He said that Singapore will contribute actively to the stewardship of the global commons and noted that Singapore will champion deeper regional cohesion and integration. He said the third thrust is that Singapore will strengthen our global network of partnerships.
Economically, we are already plugged into major networks and frameworks like the CPTPP, RCEP, and an extensive network of FTAs. These give us market access and insulation against rising protectionism. But we must go further to reinforce the multilateral trading system and preserve open flows of trade and investment. Over the past week, I've spoken with counterparts from Malaysia, Japan, New Zealand, the UK, and the EU. We represent different countries across different regions, but we all agreed on one thing. The world needs more cooperation, not less. And we must not retreat into protectionism or isolationism.
California has sued the Trump administration, challenging the president's authority to impose sweeping tariffs that have set off a global trade war.
The lawsuit by California Governor Gavin Newsom against the Trump administration argues that President Donald Trump's use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose tariffs on Mexico, Canada and China, or a 10% tariff on all imports, is unlawful. The act enables the president to freeze and block transactions in response to foreign threats, but doesn't allow the president to adopt tariffs, the suit says. The lawsuit, which was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, also argues that enacting such tariffs requires approval from the Congress. Trump has offered many justifications for increasing tariffs, including that they are designed to spur U.S. manufacturing and stop the flow of illicit fentanyl into the country. California's move follows rapidly changing tariff plans by the Trump administration.
And people listen to us. And also because they don't like that wasteful, corrupt political culture. So the smoothest transition ever, I think any country could learn a lesson,
Just the fact that you're a woman is not sufficient. You need to have a good backbone. You need to be sure of who you are. And you need to have the strength to speak up.
After the Aragar era, we are led to believe that there are a lot of young people who are interested in politics, in governance, in system change and all of that.
Thousands of people who are involved. It's very polarizing. So we have to seek certain reconciliation also in the society when we talk about this. We shouldn't always be polarizing. We shouldn't always be, leveraging it politically.
Face to Face, Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m.
What are you doing?
I'm going home. I'll give it another few hours.
Sam! Ah! All right.
Inspector Kazi.
Prefect. Saturday and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on TV1.
The Department of Inland Revenue has announced that locally produced liquid milk and yogurt are now exempt from VAT. This exemption follows the recent amendments to the Value Added Tax Act, which were passed in Parliament on the 9th of April and certified by Speaker Dr. Jagat Wickramaratne on the 11th of April.
The Department of Inland Revenue has announced that locally produced liquid milk and yogurt are now exempt from VAT effective the 11th April. In a statement, the department clarified that the VAT exemption applies to liquid milk and yogurt containing at least 50% fresh milk. Additionally, the VAT on naphtha supplied by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation to the Ceylon Electricity Board for electricity generation has also been removed under the new amendments. Furthermore, the new VAT Act amendments impose VAT on digital services provided by non-resident individuals to Sri Lankan residents via electronic platforms effective from the 1st of October. The department emphasized that all individuals importing or exporting goods for commercial purposes must register under the amended VAT Act.
Premalal Vijayratna, a distinguished journalist who served in various capacities, including news editor and deputy editor for over 5 decades, has passed away at the age of 75.
Premalal Vijayratna began his journalism career with the Davasa newspaper and later contributed to several prominent publications such as Irida Peramuna, Maubima, Janayugaya and Sunday Leader. He covered a wide range of topics including police, health and political affairs. He also dedicated over a decade to the radio division of the MTV MBC Media Network, playing a pivotal role in establishing the Sirasa News division during its formative years. At the time of his passing, he was serving as the deputy editor of the Maurata newspaper. Premalal Vijayratna was a father of 2. His remains will be placed for public respect at his residence, number 240, Vennavatta Road, Valampitiya, starting tonight. The final rites will be conducted at the Kotikavatta Public Cemetery on Saturday at 4 p.m.
Sri Lanka police announced that search operations are still ongoing to locate the 2 students who went missing while swimming in the sea of Panadura.
According to the police, the missing individuals include 15-year-old resident of Vattala and a student from Atalugama Bandaragama, who was scheduled to sit for the ordinary level examination this year. According to the police, 5 people were caught in a strong current while swimming near the shore yesterday afternoon. The Panadura Coast Guard and police rescue teams managed to save 3 of them. The other 2 children remain missing. Additionally, on the 15th, 2 young men went missing while swimming near the Panama estuary. Similarly, a foreign couple was rescued from a strong current near the public beach by the Hikkaduwa harbour a few days ago. The police urged the public to avoid swimming in unfamiliar locations as they return home after the New Year holidays.
Kumana National Park has been recognized as the 2nd highest in the world for leopard density, according to a study conducted by researchers from the Department of Zoology at the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
A study conducted by wildlife researchers from the Department of Zoology at the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura has revealed that Kumana National Park ranks 2nd globally for leopard density. The data indicates that approximately 41 leopards reside within a 100 square kilometer area of Kumana National Park, making it one of the highest leopard density forests in the world. This research was conducted by a team of wildlife researchers from the Department of Zoology at the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, including Senior Professor Darshani Mahulpatha, Dr. Dulan Jayasekara, Pasindu Rodrigo, Chanima Anavaratna, Hiruni Veerasinghe, Ajit Kumara, Charani Gunatilaka, Sachini Sigera, Pawan Vishmith, Vinuri Mendis, Taranga Dhananjani, Vasanta Disanayaka and Dilanta Samaranayaka.
The Sri Lankan leopard, the largest wild cat in the country, is a critically endangered subspecies. These research findings could be crucial for conservationists working to protect them. The study also indicates that the high leopard density in Kumara National Park is due to their preference for habitats with water sources and rocky terrains, as well as the availability of prey such as spotted deer and sambar.
මේ ලංකාවේ භූමියෙන් නැති වෙලා යන්න අවස්ථාව තිබෙනවා.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.